English final assignment.
My name is Marie Cordonnier and my project is to launch the Disney Store France to Agadir in Morocco. I chose this company because I always love Walt Disney movies, and I chose this country because I've been traveling a lot to Morocco and I also love this country. The Disney Store France is a simplified joint stock company. There is 6 points of sale in France and it's a branch of Walt Disney Company. I made a market study, so there might be difficulties to send the products because between France or Occidental countries and Morocco there is a big culture difference, and about televisions we don't watch the same things. There is no amusement parks, Walt Disney amusement parks in Morocco, so there might be difficulties. But it can work in Agadir. This is why I chose this city, because it's a touristic one and it is close to European countries. So with promotion and publicity we can make it. About premises, first of all, costs are lower in Morocco than in France. It's a big advantage for a company. There is complexity about real property in Morocco because there are real property that belongs to the states, others that belongs to people but there is no publicity, and others that belongs to people with publicity. It's complex and you have to be really sure of what you're buying before you buy it. About taxation, in France you have a 20% value added tax to pay and also notarial charges between 2 and 8%. You have also registering rights. It's a big amount of money to pay. In Morocco, however, you have a 4% tax to pay and also value added tax, but it's only 7%, which is a big advantage from France. About products, there is also a civil code in Morocco which reproduces characteristics of the contract almost the same than in France. The Article 1 of DOH, which means Dair of Obligations and Contracts, there are different responsibilities put in place. There are responsibilities about contracts, quasi-contracts and offences. We can see that it is almost the same in our French Civil Code, in the Article 1382 and 1134. We can see that we have also a duty of care and a breach of contracts, almost like in the UK. So there is no big advantage, no big difference between France and Morocco about it. About competition law, in the European Union and so in France, there is 101 and 102 article of the Treaty of the Union European, which put in place a big control about competition in the European market. In Morocco it's different because the Constitution of 2011 put in place a competition council which increased the control of the market, but not that much than in France. So it's an advantage about competition in Morocco. Now about people. In France there is a safety obligation for the employer. Before 2002 it was an obligation of results because the employer had to absolutely protect the employees. He couldn't exclude this. Now it's an obligation reinforced of means. So there is prevention measures, and even if he's not directly responsible, if there is a problem in the company, he is responsible if he did not delegate his powers and responsibility. In Morocco, there is a labor code, and so there is a bigger protection than before, but actually, because I've seen it, I can say that it's really less strict than in France. About conditions of work, in France, contracts can go over 35 hours of work. There is a social protection cover, there is a minimum wage, there are vacations which are paid and illness taken in account, and we can see that the labor code in France is really protector. In Morocco, there is also, as I said before, a labor code put in place in 2004. There is so an increasement of the rules of the protection, but what we can see is that the minimum wage is about 200 or 250, which is a lot less than in France, and it can be a big advantage for the employer and for the company. To conclude about profit, which is a result of premises, products and people, we can say that the corporation tax in Morocco is of 30%, and in France it's about 33%. So in Morocco we have this advantage. Also, we can say that we have low costs in Morocco because of the low cost of employment, the lower control of competition law, and also the lower taxation of property. About it, we can also say that in Agadir, because it's a touristic town, we can increase the prices, we can put almost prices as high as in France. So this is why I think this project is available and this project will work.